And we're back to another episode of If I Was a Betting Man. We are back. How are you, Vinny?
Doing great. How you doing?
I'm good. I am good. Boy, a lot to talk about. Um, right off the top, I mean, what's going on? What's going on with you? What's new in Vinny land?
Oh, Vinny Land's a little roller coastery, but we're getting through it. Baseball season now. That's all we have now. So I watched the Mets
Yeah.
2 nights. Last night they played well, but it's just like, oh my god. But you know what I learned throughout the whole World Cup, John? Uh, Sports you know nothing about, you could actually win money in because I hit both my bets in the World Cup. I don't even know. I still watch the game. I have no idea what's going on.
That is very funny, and we are absolutely going to get to that. Your long shot World Cup bets that fucking came in.
Real long shots.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I did make some money on the World Cup. I did not. I probably won three-quarters of my bets, so I did okay.
That's
But
good.
I also watched all the. I watched all the games. The World Cup's crazy because nobody has any idea what the teams are going to be when it
No,
starts.
no,
It's wild.
it is wild.
It's it's wild. Like everybody's like Germany's good. Germany's good. Germany sucked.
Germany was not good.
You don't know what you have until you start watching the games. And then also with the expanded cup this year, even, you know, the teams didn't play for the
Yeah,
first couple games. They were phoning it in for the early matches. Spain, the only game that they didn't win was against Cape Verde, who Cape Verde, the big winner from this World Cup.
oh,
Cape Verde
100%.
is on the world stage now. Their tourism is skyrocketing. We were looking it up, pictures of their beaches. It's a stunningly beautiful place.
Really?
It is white sand beaches, palm trees. It looks like Punta Cana or something.
Is that where
You
we're
know,
going on our next vacation?
you and me.
Well, I mean, it doesn't just have to be me and you. Like that would be a little weird.
Honestly, it would be much weirder if it was me, you, and my kids.
That would be weird.
And
But maybe we get a couple other friends to come. We can make it a
oh,
couple.
you're going a different way. Yeah,
We'll make
yeah,
it a
yeah.
couples vacation, and I'll be the 12th wheel, the 13th wheel.
Right. Wow, that is a big group. Too big for me. Yeah, so let's talk about the World Cup a little bit. I the final before we get into the third place game, the final. So going into that match, um, I I came up with what I thought the outcome was going to look like, and the
Okay.
outcome was based on basically my record in watching other sports. So
Yes.
I was comparing Messi to Tom Brady. I was
Okay.
comparing Messi to Patrick Mahomes. I was like, this guy is on an all-time streak. When the chips are down and Argentina does not look good, he gets a look in his eye and he takes over the game by himself,
For sure.
uh, seemingly by himself without even being, demonstrative. He does just little touches, but, he was unbelievable. So I had talked myself into why would I bet, it's like betting against Brady in the playoffs. Don't do it,
Yes.
And so I was thinking, Spain's the favorite. Why would I bet on Spain when I'm betting against the best player to ever do it? And he's on an all-time tear right now. He's at the top of his, you know,
Of his game.
40-year-old game, right? And then I was telling this to a buddy of mine who in the last 10 years has become a complete soccer, European soccer addict.
Oh,
Like
really?
he watches like Bundesliga. He watches Serie A. He watches all the individual leagues, including Premier League, the
Does he have a
French
favorite
one.
team?
Yeah, he's a Barcelona guy.
Okay.
So I said
Oh,
this to him. I
okay.
said
So
this to
he hates
him,
Real Madrid.
and he said that's a good take.
Okay.
He's like I like that take. Spain's gonna win. And I was like, but Messi, if it's close at the end, Messi will take over. And he was like, no, like I said, it's a good story that you're telling yourself, but Spain is by far the better team. They will not lose this game. And I was sort of dumbfounded from it. He went on to tell me about, first of all, these a lot of these guys are on Barcelona.
Yes.
A huge chunk of the starters play together day in and day out, you
Yes.
know, and have played together for multiple seasons. So I went from being ready to place a pretty hefty bet on Argentina to win big to I didn't bet it at all
Okay. That's good.
because he literally was like he said, John, they Argentina doesn't have a shot. They don't hold a candle to this team. And I texted him after and I was like, you were right. And he was like, I was right. He was like, I was wrong. It was way, way closer than I thought it was going to be. He was
Oh,
like,
really?
he was like, that was one of the great defensive performances of all time
Yeah.
um, in a World Cup match. So,
I mean,
it's just funny.
Argentina
You
didn't have
think,
a shot on goal the whole game, right?
well, they didn't have a shot on goal until the extra time. I think they
Yeah.
had I think they had two shots and only one was on goal.
That's
I
it's
think
just wild. It's
the
wild.
Spanish goalie only had to block one shot.
That's crazy.
Wild. It's like it's so funny because I've talked about this before, but you know how I've talked about my rules of gambling?
Yes.
I have three rules of gambling. The first rule is don't bet on your own team. You can bet against your own team, but don't bet on your own team. My
Wow.
second rule is you got to watch the games. If you're not watching the games, you're throwing money away. You don't know what you're seeing. You can't just listen to people on TV or anybody else. You have to watch the games and have your own opinion. And my third rule is don't fall in love with a story. And I fell in love with a story, you know, that Messi was gonna get through it. But I break that rule all the time
I mean,
because in football, the story, when you have previous history with players, it more often than not is the way to go.
well,
It's like go ahead.
I think in certain, I guess since we don't know the sport well enough, I do believe
Mhm.
following a story can win you money. The Knicks, if you followed the story, you would have won money. Like there are all those things of following story that happened. Tom Brady a few years ago with the Bucks. If you follow a story, you're going to make money. And I only have one rule in betting actually, and it's just to follow your heart.
The exact opposite. My rules are all based on being analytical.
And
Your
my rule is based on the Ninja Turtles being on Radio City Hall and a song Michelangelo saying "Follow Your Heart" in 1991.
the live action Ninja Turtle show.
Oh yeah, follow your heart, follow
I
your
don't.
heart. It's a whole song.
They didn't come to the Boondocks where I lived. I
That's
did. I did watch it on TV, but the Ninja Turtles weren't passing through my town.
yeah. I went live. It was a great time.
I mean, it sounds like a terrible time for your parents. Like I have to say, as a parent of small children, having to sit through some of this stuff. Some of it's great. Some of it's surprisingly good.
Disney on Ice is horrible.
I can't. I don't. I have no. I don't want to do it.
I've done it
I
so
just.
many times for my little cousins. Disney on Ice. Ugh.
It's
At the
gonna
metal
happen
at
too.
the old it's always at the Brandon Byrne Arena, the old Net Stadium in the Meadowlands. Always.
Uh,
Yeah. Terrible.
I hate going there. I hate everything about it. Anyway, okay, so next thing with the World Cup. Well, actually, before we get that, I was talking about this magical run that Messi had, and in my brain, I was thinking about the magical runs. You were just saying the Knicks story, Jalen Brunson. A single player that got a look in his eye when the chips were down and took over the games that meant the most in the sport. I think of magical moments. I was at the 2006 Big East tournament when Jerry McNamara single-handedly took it over, and the Syracuse had no way. They had no shot at getting into the NCAA tournament, and Jerry McNamara single-handedly won every game. It was one of the most remarkable things. I didn't go to
That's one
every
of the best
game.
moments ever.
It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It was in the Garden. That's the Syracuse not being in the Big East is just a really sad thing for
And I'm
me.
not saying this to get on your nerves, but the Red Sox in '04, that's a
Sure.
story. That's a run.
I was just going to ask you, what are the magical moments that you think of? Red Sox in '04 is absolutely one of them.
Cowboy,
100%. I hate that more than almost any other uh, sporting, in my life, that '04 situation when the Red Sox came back to win that was absolutely brutal. Um, but, I think of the Derek Jeter Yankee teams in the '90s.
oh yeah.
He had incredible play after incredible play to take over some of those games. And,
I mean, that play he made in '01, not that they won that year. Speaking of a story that you would have followed, but at the end it didn't go the way we thought it would. But that Jeter,
right,
when Jeter made that flip against the Jeremy Jambi, I thought there's no way the Yankees could lose that World Series, especially after the 3 games in Yankee
100%,
Stadium. I mean,
100%.
so I guess if you want to make almost the Jeter Messi thing, even though it was a little different, Jeter was still young. But those 2 years, you would have
Yeah.
thought both those teams should have won.
Yeah. The Brady Bucks comparison is apt. That the first game when Brady went to Tampa Bay, and the first game, all my friends are, from home are Bills fans. So I'm on this Bills text chain that is it's just a nonstop source of frustration for me. These guys, the Bills win, by 20, and they're like, oh man, another game that we barely, complaining about the Bills, and meanwhile, I'm a Dolphins fan.
They're gonna have a lot of complaining to do this year, the Bills.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody's pick to go under, but I texted on that chain. I was like, this team. I was like, this team has so many weapons for Brady. They're going to win the Super Bowl unless he gets hurt. And they laughed and laughed at me. You clown. I was right.
You were right. That's right. Hey, let me ask
okay.
you one thing.
Go ahead.
One other thing I just before on the World Cup with Messi, when people are saying that, oh, he should have came back, or now it's a lost season. But that's not true. He made it all the way to the World Cup final. That is a great run for someone who's 40 years old.
He almost won the Golden Boot.
Yeah, it's like,
if not for our next topic, he wouldn't have won it. But the other thing is, it's very interesting. It's a good historical moment to see before our eyes the decline of a truly great Argentinian era in the sport.
yeah.
Because now that Messi's out, and at the end of that game, when they acted like a bunch of thugs, and had zero sportsmanship at the end of the game, to me, we're going to see them go off a cliff in their ability to compete on the world stage. And I believe they'll make the next World Cup, but I don't think they'll be competitive.
Oh,
And
interesting.
I don't think they will be. I mean, think about how many games Messi had to take over himself.
That is true. That is true.
And their defense, it's the Spanish team, as my buddy, educated me about the Spanish team. He was like, you never see turnovers. They're the best passing team I've ever seen in my life. Everybody has an ability to, when the ball is coming in from 1,000 feet in the air, have it stick to their foot like there's tape on it. He was like, their ability to play every aspect of the game, getting the ball into strike position, is optimal. And I hadn't looked at that as I was watching Spain sort of be mediocre over the course of this tournament. And then in watching that final, he was 100% correct. They were technically so good. They were unbelievable. And maybe they didn't have the flash, that some of the other teams had, even though they had, that Lamine kid was,
Yes.
his touch is, you know, unbelievable. We're going to see him in, I don't know how many more World Cups, four.
No,
Uh,
100%.
but, you know, they were just, watching that game, it wasn't even a good game.
No,
Spain was
no.
was too good. They were too good, and they were methodical, and they were well coached, and they were patient, and it was very one sided. Okay, so let's talk about this third place match.
And
Uh,
third place. What is it
how
with
do you
third place?
how do you feel about third place matches?
I hate it. I hate it. It shouldn't be a match. When people were saying they were gambling on that game, I was like, are you nuts? They're like, it's third place. To me, that would have been like saying, you think the Thunder would have showed up for a third place game? You think they would have even played any of their players?
No way.
And I understand third place in Olympics because we're
Right.
playing for a bronze. I do not understand it in the World Cup. I'm going to be honest with you.
So, I mean, can you imagine a third place game in the Final Four in college basketball?
No,
The best
no.
tournament that there is, the tournament that even the World Cup, FIFA is openly trying to copy
Oh,
the
yeah.
NCAA
And
tournament
they're going to be
and
at
have.
64 next.
Well, no, he said they're going straight to 68, just like the tournament has been. But the
Really?
NCAA, yeah, but the NCAA is going to wreck that thing,
Yeah, they're going to go to 72.
and then they'll just continue to add more, shitty teams.
I mean, the good news
Uh,
is at some point, Syracuse then will be allowed back in.
it'll have to be a few more expansions, but yeah, we're going to get in there. Now, listen, we got Jerry McNamara as our coach now.
No, that's going to
We
be
got
fun.
we got GMAC. It's there's going to be energy. I went to a game in the Dome last year, and just so everyone's aware, my Syracuse fandom is my original fandom. I grew up in Syracuse, New York. I went to the games with my father. It was the only sport that he liked was college basketball. The only sport he followed. We had season tickets when I was a kid. I went to the Dome, at least once a year from the time I was 4. And I was there the year they won the championship. I went to every single home game.
Amazing.
It was absolutely a magical, incredible experience to see all of that develop live from them being unranked and from Carmelo Anthony being considered already a bust before the season started
They
to
were
winning the
unranked
national
that year?
unranked.
That's amazing.
And everybody's like, they're going to start this McNamara kid from Scranton, and they had Hakeem Warwick. Anyway, I don't want to get into a big Syracuse thing,
No, listen.
I didn't go to Syracuse. Is my point. I didn't go there, but I've been a fan of that team my entire life. There's not a lot of things to do in Syracuse, New York, especially in the winter. So Syracuse basketball is a major part of life.
Are you ever going to take me to a game? I mean, I know we're not going to go to Cape Verde together, but can we go to a Saturday
Listen,
game?
so last winter I went to a game at the Dome, and it was horrible. They won. They played a good game, and they won as a buzzer beater. And
Oh, wow.
was there an eruption of applause from the crowd? Was there chanting? No, nobody cared. Everybody knew that they were on a sinking ship. It was awful. It was, I've been to hundreds of Syracuse games. It was by far the worst experience I've ever had. And
Really?
also
That's sad.
the beer selection's terrible. I don't know what they're
Up
doing
in
up there.
Syracuse, but I mean, the Catskills now have such a great beer selection. At least when I'm up there, not good.
Everybody's drinking seltzer. It's like going to a Yankee game now. They have four.
Surfsides, dude. Everyone drinks Surfsides.
They have 4 kinds, or High Noon. They have 4 kinds of beer and 70 kinds of seltzer. It just drives me. I guess I'm an old man. I want to,
What
eat a
happened to
loaf
a good vodka
a loaf
soda?
of bread.
What happened to a good vodka? Hey, can I have a vodka soda? Like,
I mean, I'll tell you what. The first time I saw an actual bar, it was at the Nets at the Barclays,
okay.
where they had actual bartenders making with a full bar, making whatever you wanted. And I was blown away by it. It's just like I get up there and it's just like, what am I going to get? I got a gin and tonic or something.
Yeah.
It's not like, I don't want a sex on the beach or like a fuzzy navel or something.
But doesn't it bother you that there's a gin and tonic now in a can? It bothers me. Like, just fucking get a gin and tonic. Oh, I'm sorry. As a bartender, It annoys me that why not just get a gin and tonic?
The argument is because you can toss 10 of them in a cooler and go out, go wherever. Go to the lake, go out on a boat. You can bring it places where you don't have the actual bar. And the JMA Wireless Dome in Syracuse, does not have the bar. Actually, I think they do have a bar.
You
I
know,
think they do.
but isn't it like, don't you like going to the beach with a bottle of tequila, with a bottle of gin and tonic, and you just pouring them for your friends?
No.
No.
That makes no sense. You got to carry in 2 bottles and ice
Yeah.
and
We're going to
straws
the
and
beach.
limes.
We're
No.
going to the beach. We're having a good day.
You know what I have seen done many, many times is you get a mason jar, or
Okay.
what I used to do is a Powerade bottle,
Okay.
and fill it with ice, mix the drink, put the cap on, and then take that where you're going.
Okay. See
Uh,
that? I like that more than having this can. I'm going to be honest with you.
the can, and also the real thing is it tastes like shit.
Yeah.
Like that's the real
It's
fact
not
of
a
it
gin and
is
tonic. It's not a real gin and tonic.
it's malt liquor. It tastes bad.
Now I
Um,
gotta say, Fast High Noon, they do use real vodka.
is that right?
Yes.
I mean, I have to say when I go like at the Yankee games, everybody's drinking High Noon.
Yes.
Everybody's drinking High Noon. It is incredibly popular. So whoever's behind the High Noon empire is clearly raking in the
And then
cash.
those surf sides and the sun cruises and whatever else, genius. I mean, dude, on a given like Saturday when I'm at work, like we sell more of those than anything. Anything.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's
Even in the
drinking
win-
those ices.
Even in the winter?
We'll see in the winter how that goes. But since I like in the summer, since I honestly we've had them at the bar. No, actually in the winter too. Like this, like March, like for the March Madness, those were selling like crazy. I feel bad for these guys who literally still have like thousands and thousands of probably like inventory of the iced tea vodka that they made in bottles because they're done. They're never going to sell that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy how things change. You don't expect stuff to happen like this,
No.
but and I guess, a beer is like, what is the statistic? It's like every beer is like eating a whole loaf of bread or something.
It is. But I mean, I love beer. I'm still willing to drink it.
Yeah, I love
What
it too.
beer would you want? Like, if you had your selection of 5 beers, which ones in Syracuse? Which ones would it be? 5.
You know what I want? I want what you just said. I want a bunch of local made craft beer, and I
Okay.
want to try 5 of them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or I want to try, I want to have an IPA, I want to have a Pilsner, I want to have some dark beer, I want to have like a porter or a brown ale. I want to go through and try a bunch of local cool things, and that's what I do when I go anywhere.
That-
You know,
Should
it's
we come
crazy.
up with the Jerry Mack and make a red ale?
That's a great idea. I
Maybe-
mean, we're saying this live,
I know.
on a stream.
That's our idea. We're gonna need some MDNAs, but a Jerry Mack red ale.
NDNAs. Non-disclosure, non-alcoholic.
NDNAs.
Okay. So anyway, to recap, we're both out on third place matches. That being said, that third place match got you
Want me
your
money?
cash on your golden boot bet.
That is right. It's crazy. And it's almost makes me, it feels like dirty money because that shouldn't have been a game.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't play defense.
Like,
It was like the Pro Bowl.
It was almost like, imagine again, like we've seen this in baseball, like, someone just fast, like giving a guy, hey, I'm going to throw you this pitch because I want you to get that home run. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
That's
100%.
what it felt like. That's what it felt like.
It was a fun game to have on in the background. It's not like I sat down and was studying it.
No. And France, listen, I'll give France credit for trying in the second half, But they didn't need that game. If they weren't going to win, it was a bust of a season. I understood England going for that game because
Yeah,
going home and being like, "Hey, we're still moving this program in the right direction. Here's a
right.
third place finish. Hopefully next time we could move forward."
Plus, France was demoralized. They were the favorite,
But yeah,
and they were the co-favorite with Spain at the onset of the World Cup. And then after
they
Spain's
were.
tie against Cape Verde, Spain was the lone favorite by a mile the
Yeah,
whole time. And it- you know, it's very interesting to see them come up against Spain, and they were demoralized by
they
that loss.
certainly were.
They got their asses kicked, and you know even Mbappe in the post game press conference said they were the better team.
Yeah,
That's a wild thing. I've said this on this show multiple times. If we were playing Mars in soccer, and we had to make a planet Earth team, there'd be five French guys starting on that team.
for sure. And it was nice to see
Spain
a
would have
French
a
guy.
couple.
It was nice to see a French guy at least come out and say that his team wasn't the better team.
I mean, honestly, it was a shocking thing to see. It was very surprising. But and I don't know. It seemed like for me, it seemed like that, everybody praised their coach so much. Oh God, he's what a
Yeah,
genius. Whatever he does next, whatever he chooses to do next, he's also going to be very successful at. It's just like he's going to go be fourth place in whatever he does next too. Like
yeah,
I'm not sold on that guy.
no,
Uh, and you know, the other thing before we get off the World Cup that I want to mention is Bill Simmons' impact on sports is so dramatic that the announcers at the World Cup, Thierry Henry, Zlatan, when France lost, the other co-hosts comforted him as the first order of business in the post-game show. And it's a little bit different when it's your country, but you know 15 years ago they would have said, you know you have to ignore that aspect of it. That is
yeah,
not part of this broadcast.
yeah,
You are here for your analysis. And now, when England lost, what was her name? Rebecca Lowe, was that her
yeah.
name?
I believe so.
The British woman who was on the desk with Zlatan, Thierry Henry, and our American contribution,
Lawless.
Alexi
Alexis.
Lawless, who has gone a long ways riding on a cool name. And that picture of him with the beard and the long red hair, like he looked cool when he played, and he's got a great name, and that's his resume.
I
I
believe
felt,
he tried out to punt for the Jets once too.
is that right?
I believe so. If we looked back,
Well, anyway, Rebecca Lowe being comforted when Britain lost, is a result of Bill Simmons' impact on sports.
I agree.
People wearing their, teams on their sleeve, it's just a wild, weird change. And, it's like, I think it's better. And you could argue both sides, but I like the honesty of it.
No, I'd rather you be honest about it. Like I think they
Exactly.
annoy me more about like Joe Buck or anyone like you knew he was a homer for St. Louis.
Yeah.
Just be that because that's your team and that's okay. But when you're trying to play it like you're not, that's annoying.
But he's a homer for the Cardinals,
Yes.
but I think that's it. And honestly, I don't think, he gets a lot of shit that he doesn't deserve.
No, listen, I love him. Now in 06, I hated him with the Mets in the Cardinals, but I love Joe Buck. And
Mhm.
and I need to say this about Bill Simmons. What I would do for one more mailbag.
Really?
Dude, the mailbag used to be my life. I could go back and read those and still laugh. Like at the end, he'd be like, "These are my readers.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are
yeah.
my readers." Like
He'd throw in like three crazy
crazy.
emails at the end and be like, these are my fans.
Yeah.
It is wild. I mean, the thing about Bill Simmons is he's really an idea guy.
He
You
is.
know, he's really good at taking ideas and stretching them to their, fullest, most complete form. And he's been good at it for a long time across a lot of different things.
He certainly has.
He's great. I listen to multiple podcasts that he hosts every week. And it's really, there's, something to be said about his domination of podcasting, and not only to innovate in something, but then to stick around at the very top of the game is pretty remarkable. And I think it's because of his ability to latch onto an idea and say, I don't care what everybody thinks.
Yeah.
This to me is correct.
And I agree with that. I also think what I found about Bill Simmons is just he's human, right? And he hard on his sleeve, and he talks about things that we understand. Like even his book, when I Now I Can Die in Peace, or the Red Sox, or whatever it was. Like talking about like even a story of him and somehow him playing catch with Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver
Right.
trying to make a comeback with the Mets, and you're like, oh my God, this is a guy who's like so big on sports, but he has these moments, or those moments with his dad at the Celtics games. You talk about your dad at the Orange, like at Syracuse game.
For
I had
sure.
that with my dad at Shea Stadium. Like he connects people to their own past as well, and he's very good at that. Probably one of the
Exactly.
best at that.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely correct. Crazy stuff to see the announcers on air sad about their team losing, but also, I think the new normal.
Yes.
And we can expect to see it from now on. And I think it's probably the right thing. The honesty is probably the correct thing. Okay.
I agree.
Moving on from the World Cup, the biggest story in sports right now, besides the Major League Baseball trade deadline, is LeBron James.
No, and the Heat, like, could that if that's correct, and the Heat just messed up the LeBron James, how many people get fired from that?
Well, so I mean, it's a wild thing. After that happened, when Miami was so far ahead,
On Kalshi,
Cleveland
right?
on exactly. Cleveland came back and took the lead last night at I guess it's difficult to read it. No, it looks like
Cookie Gate number 2 here coming out. This is bad.
it's wild. Miami has, so right now on what I'm looking at, Miami is at 50%, Cleveland's at 27%.
Okay.
It's rebounded. Cleveland has dropped precipitously today.
And the Warriors are out of it altogether?
They're at 14.
Okay.
This is my question.
If he wants to win a title, an East Coast team. If he wants to try to win a title.
Sure, an East Coast team is right, but aren't the Cavs better?
I believe the Cavs are better, but maybe he feels like he already tied a bow in the Cavs, and maybe he feels like with the Heat that him winning another title with the Heat would be a big deal. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if you were my boss, right, and I put that Heat thing out, is Riley firing you and me? Like, honestly, how many people up the ladder are getting fired for that? If you under over 2.5.
Well, I think you're probably home right now. You've probably been told to go home. And then if he doesn't end up going to Miami, you're probably fired.
Okay.
I think that, he's going to ride. He's getting so much media attention. He's the main focus. He's the first topic on every sports talk show because he's going to basically change, the odds of either Cleveland or the Heat. Dramatically.
I think either team would go up at least plus 300, 400.
So
what are the Cavaliers at right now?
Let's take a look at it. But the thing is, how does he play? How does he play in Miami with those with Giannis and Bam? It just doesn't make a ton of sense. They're going to have clear out plays where they're going to be, running to the floor, to the corners, and everybody's going to, it's just, I don't really, I guess you could take advantage of that. He's an incredible.
About 3 great athletes on one team.
True.
And
you
maybe
know,
maybe LeBron likes it there because he'd probably be like one of the number one scoring options. like
he definitely don't have guards.
like LeBron might be like. I mean, I'm curious if LeBron like this is LeBron looking at like, and I know Jordan was a lot younger, but Jordan's last year with the Wizards like average. I think LeBron's like I think LeBron wants this might be his last year, but he's like I'm going to put up 30.
He's a different animal than Jordan. Jordan was, he was not himself out there.
Well,
This LeBron is a different guy.
LeBron's the best athlete ever. I think Jordan's the greatest basketball player ever. That's what I like to say.
But sure, fine. That argument to me is completely separate from the fact that when LeBron plays this year, he's contributing. He's got the ball in his hands every play, and he's not going to be tired at the end of games. He's going to be in the same shape as everyone he's playing with.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? You're not going to know. You're not going to think, oh, he's lost this, a step. They need to be, have their game plan reflect the fact that he's his age. No, he's going to be a contributor. He's one of the best players in the NBA still.
I agree.
It's absolutely remarkable. But doesn't he need a guard?
It's Pat Riley. Maybe Pat Riley already has a guard on that team that we don't know about. I'm just saying, Pat Riley picks these guys out of thin air. He's always done that. We didn't know who Tyler Hero was before Tyler Hero became who he was. I didn't know who Duncan Robinson was before Duncan Robinson was Duncan Robinson.
Well,
that's Pat Riley.
The Miami Heat are one of the few teams who decide we want a return on the investment of these players we draft. This is a major asset that we have. A lot of teams say, we're going to try you out. If you suck, you're going to sit.
Yeah.
Miami says, we're going to develop you.
Yes.
We invested in you by drafting you, and we expect a return on that investment. We are going to spend the time, spend the money. Part of their team is development, and they work at it, and it is why they are, the David to the Goliath of a lot of the other teams in the East over and over and over again, because their picks are real. Their picks become real players, and they become real trade assets as well. Tyler Hero, if he'd gotten drafted by the Bulls, he wouldn't have developed. We wouldn't even know his name.
No. And but that's what comes with the Heat having, to me, I won't say number one in coach, but top 5 coach in the league. No argument. There can't be an argument there. And Pat Riley's the greatest executive of all time, hands down. It's just, I'm sorry, he has proven it. He's the greatest executive. And
it's funny.
If I'm LeBron, I want to go with that.
I agree. If you're LeBron, where do you want to spend your winter?
Yeah.
Do you want to spend it with James Harden in Cleveland?
No. I bet you LeBron would go to Cleveland if they could find a way to trade James Harden.
And maybe that's what's going on right now.
Well, and maybe Pat Riley's also like, hey, we're going to bring in Bronny. We're going to bring in Freak's brother. We're going to have it's a family affair.
I guarantee you that part of Giannis's deal is that they have to sign the whole.
They'll probably be bodyguards. They'll probably be like the Joker brothers now, but I don't think Riley will have them on the team.
They will be. I guarantee you. I guarantee that they knew when they traded for him that Thanasis, right? And then the other one, I don't even know the other one's name, but they're taking up roster spots.
I don't know. If Riley wouldn't give LeBron James cookies, I don't know if he's giving the Freak his brother.
It's a little bit different when it's the last 2 slots on the bench compared to your player. You think your player's getting soft.
I know, but what about if you just make them
your
coaches?
Star player?
Make them coaches instead. Do the Jalen Brunson effect.
It's so funny to look on Kalshi and to look on these prediction markets and then see everybody like referencing the prediction market statistics, and then the first statement is is Cookiegate over? Has Cookiegate been revoked?
Cookiegate's a real deal. He left because of Cookiegate. They took away his cookies.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think you can take I don't think you could take anything away from LeBron James. Like this is the thing when ego meets ego. But it's so funny. Dan Levitard's podcast. He interviewed, uh, you know, your boy Pat Riley
Ara.
just last week, right? Or
Okay.
maybe it was Monday. Either way, it's a long interview in which Pat Riley comes across as very zen. He's doing all of these he talks about doing these treatments where he's gonna like try to extend his life by having he's getting that Keith Richards blood thing done where they take your blood out and clean it and put it back. Like
Really?
yes, he's he's doing all of the stuff, that rich guys do,
Well,
you
hey,
know.
I mean, if I was his age, I'd want to keep living, especially if I was Pat Riley.
Yeah, Pat Riley's life is good.
Yeah, like we're
And
talking about a
and
guy who could live to 120 and his life would be like
and
really good.
also, you'd say to him, what about the 2007 season? And he's like, well, this is who we drafted. This is, we had these issues preseason. We had this. Like, this is not a guy who is like, who can remember all that shit.
No,
This guy
he
remembers
remembered.
everything at a level that, and he's old.
Yeah.
And it makes, I don't remember, you know, as half as much as I should. And compared to what I used to, I used to be able to remember everything, and it's just gone. And God knows why. But anyway, I mean, I know why. uh, anyway, I think he's going to go to Miami because I think that he's probably better served playing in Cleveland. I think they probably, I mean, even though Harden would have to sit in the fourth quarter in any game that
Yeah.
mattered, and Mitchell is going to have to play a lot better, and that's a fight. He's going to have to fight for that.
Yeah.
LeBron is going to have to really be spurring him on, and that's not ideal, for a
No, I just think
superstar.
for LeBron, like at first I thought going back to Cleveland would have been cool because I was like, oh, the return of the king, it's the third time. It would be really cool. They have all the promos and stuff, but if
Yeah.
you're smart for LeBron, nothing good can come from Cleveland unless they win a title. In Miami, even if if they had a good run and a fun run, it'd be remembered a little bit better than I think anything in
Do you
Cleveland
think?
could do.
Do you think the Heat with let's do this. The Heat and the Cavs with LeBron, are they in the conversation to win the championship? And
The
and I'll
Heat,
tell you the odds. I'll tell you the odds right now. Both teams minus LeBron. Um,
I think the Heat with LeBron will be playing the Knicks or the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals next year.
the Heat right now are plus 2,000 to win the championship.
When LeBron goes there, they'll be plus 1,200.
I think they'd be plus. So right now, the Celtics are plus 1,300. The Knicks are plus 850. The Spurs are plus 260, and the Thunder are tied with them at
Okay, so maybe
260.
they'd be plus 1,500.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. Right behind the Celtics, ahead of the 76ers, plus 1,500. The 76ers are plus 2,000. Then you have the Raptors, who are plus 2,000, who are also in limbo right now as they wait for Kawhi's fate to be
I mean, the
revealed.
Raptors should have known that was not going to end well. Kawhi's going to get suspended.
For sure. But how much? A month?
I'm going to say they'll suspend them. What, you don't think 25 to 40 games?
Yeah, okay, so 6 weeks.
I mean, unless it's longer, maybe they're going to come down on him hard. Although I do think the NBA and the Bucks made a deal because the Bucks are going to lose picks. That signing they made was crazy.
Yeah.
The NBA's looking into.
They've been very harsh about that in the past. That's trouble.
I mean, two vet minimums for that guy who I can't remember his name right now. I do apologize. That's how bad he is. And then the Bucks just gave him, after a down year, 4 years, $64 million. That's crazy.
So the Cavs right now are plus 2,500 to win the title. And, for my money, even with LeBron, I don't think that goes up a ton.
See, I think
I
if
don't.
LeBron was with the Cavs, it'd be plus 2,000. I think
Yeah,
both. I think both will go a 500 swing.
I think that's probably right.
But I also think at
But
some
the
point,
swing for
maybe.
Miami, that puts them in the mix. They're
Oh,
they're they're the third most likely team in the East.
listen,
You know,
LeBron, Greek, and Bam is a big three. I know
yeah.
LeBron's older, but that changes that team. I would say right now the Knicks
It
would be
changes the league.
Sixers.
The league, they're going to have to do. I mean, think about it. You have probably the best X's and O's coach in the NBA
100%.
in in Spo, and you've got a whole new dynamic
Yeah.
where it's paint, 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 and LeBron is a facilitator. He's not going to be able. He's going to want to drive, even though he's old, and that's how you get hurt is the leaping.
But here's the thing, dude. There must be a couple of still good 3-point shooters out on the free agency that we're not thinking of who are going to be like, you know what? I'll take the vet minimum this year. And then because of how good my stats are going to be next year, I'm going to get a 3-year deal for $45 million.
I mean, they have who do they have? Tim Hardaway Jr.
Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to have a big year with that team.
Yeah, he is.
If LeBron is there, Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to have a big year.
Everyone will. He's one of the great passers.
Yeah.
He's so.
I want LeBron to go there because I want to see the Knicks beat LeBron in the Heat. That would be amazing. So I want LeBron to go to the Heat. That's where I want him to be.
When do you think it'll be announced?
July 27th at the press conference. We already know the date. Shouldn't we bet this? I mean, are we being silly by not betting this now? Basically, it's there.
It's 50 cents on, a dollar pays 50 cents. It's a good bet.
It's a good bet. It's a good bet. Maybe we put, I don't know. I got $300 running around to win a quick $150. Pay for one of my fantasy football leagues.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. We do need to wrap it up a little bit. We've gone on for quite a bit talking about. It was my fault. I brought Syracuse into this, and I was very long-winded about it. But let's just talk about real quick. Let's talk about baseball.
Hey, did you see that Yankee game today?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What's MLB doing? I don't want to go on a tear, but Caballero got screwed there. You can't.
I don't know what that is. What happened? I don't know about that. What happened?
Basically, they called a strike on him, and MLB is now saying, because I know there was almost a fight on Monday. Mm-hmm. MLB, without telling the Yankees or Caballero, has made it that he can't do his stance anymore. And it's like, you can't tell someone in the middle of a baseball season, that's it. You got to wait till the end of the season. That's messed up.
That's crap.
That's messed up.
That's interesting. He's following the rules in a way that is frustrating to pitchers.
Yeah,
but he's following the rules.
But he's following the rules.
It's silly.
And if you want to change the rule on him, you can't do it mid-season.
But they didn't change the rule. That's the thing. They're just like, get him.
Yeah.
It's just obnoxious. And also, Pittsburgh, like.
I found out something about Caballero that I like this week. My cousin Anthony told me this. Caballero says anytime he's on the field, doesn't matter, he's the best player on the field. And I like that.
Yeah. That's how you have to be.
Yeah, like, I've never thought about it that way, but I like that.
He acts like that. He's taking the game incredibly seriously. I'll tell you who doesn't is Volpe on the Yankees roster. Volpe is a bust who,
Volpe is not a bust. Volpe is going to wind up being a good player somewhere else.
I think maybe when the pressure and it's a little bit different for him, but he definitely doesn't think of himself as the best player on the field out there. He doesn't have any of that Ted Williams in him.
I know, but I think what happened with Volpe, it's just hard to be from here. His idol was Derek Jeter. He's supposed to be the next Derek Jeter. And then every day, if he turns on the fan, it's all about him. Like, he's a great. He's still young. Volpe's going to wind up somewhere, and I guarantee you, he's going to wind up being an all-star again.
You think so?
Oh, I know so. I know so.
Well, we'll have to see. His defense hasn't been good. His offense hasn't been good. So we'll
I
see.
think Volpe might also have to realize. I know he's a shortstop, but I think he'd be a better second baseman.
Yeah, I think he's not a great second baseman. His numbers aren't great at shortstop. His numbers at second base are worse.
Yeah, but I think one full spring training as a second baseman, he'll figure it out.
Okay, so real quick before we get out of here, let's just do rapid fire. Who's the best team in the American League?
The Boston Red Sox.
No.
They won 14 in a row.
No, they won today. They won 15 in a row.
15 in a row.
Ties
now,
their 80-year streak, 80-year record is tied, and they play tonight. They play right now.
Yeah.
Against the Orioles again. The Orioles
right now they're the best team in the AL.
I don't listen. They're on a streak. They're not the best team.
Okay, who's the best team?
That's why I'm asking you. I don't know who the best team is. It's
I still
crazy
think
to
the
me.
Yankees are going to make the World Series, but right
Here's
now
the
the Red
thing.
Sox are the best.
Tampa Bay is a really good team. They can't win 2 playoff series in a row.
Tampa Bay will never win. They'll never make it to the World Series.
They can't do it. The postseason is too brutal on pitching. They don't have it. You know, they can't have platoon pitching starts over and over again.
Tampa Bay and Milwaukee are 2 great stories every year, and but they'll never win it.
So that's my next question. Who's the team who's besides the Dodgers, who's the best team in the NL?
The Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought you were going to say.
That's the only team that I think could possibly beat the Dodgers in the playoff series. And maybe the Braves.
That would be something. I would love that. And, shout out to Uncle Paul, who's a diehard Phillies fan. If the Dodgers knock them off and the Yankees can get in there, Phillies Yankees World Series, let's run it back.
And I would love to see Don Mattingly and the Phillies crush the Yankees. After the Yankees told Don Mattingly, no, you can't be our manager. And Don Mattingly's a great manager. And he's a Hall of Famer, by the way.
Yeah, he is a Hall of Famer. And, I think he is I think he's underrated as a manager, and I think he's definitely going to have the job going forward in Philadelphia. I think they'd be foolish to not keep him around. I think he's really turned that team around.
I didn't realize he was at Fanatics. I would have brought my 84 Mattingly Don Ross card that I bought 20 years ago at the Staten Island Mall. The guy was like, this is going to be worth so much money one day. And I spent $50 on it, and it's still worth $50.
At least he didn't lose money.
No, I didn't.
Justin directed that he ran that whole thing.
Really?
The Fanatics Fest. Yeah.
No way.
He hung out with Brady. He hung out with name a huge sports celebrity. He handled them.
Really?
Yeah.
We got to go next year. I want to go to Fanatics.
Days. He spent hours with Brady.
Hours with Brady. I am super jealous. Did he get to meet Gronk? Apparently,
no. He didn't mention Gronk.
Okay.
I don't think Brady says Brady's he's like a robot that gets alarming plastic surgery every 6 months.
Yeah, but he looks good. He looks good.
Does he? He looks weird.
No, he looks great.
Weird. You remember something about Mary when the guy gets the teeth?
Yes.
That's Brady. But it's not just the teeth. It's the hair. It's the teeth. He's got his face is all pulled back. Like everything is like,
If they were doing something about Mary today, who would be the quarterback?
I mean, it wouldn't be Brett Favre. I'll tell you that.
No.
All right, that's going to do it for this week. We got to wrap it up. In closing, real quick, did you see the Avengers Doomsday trailer?
I have not. Was it good?
No.
No?
No.
Was it good?
A lot of people are acting like it's good.
Okay.
And saying it's good. I saw it and I was like, oh, because I was looking forward to it.
Okay.
I was like, it's Doomsday. It's going to be Dune 3 and Avengers Doomsday come out the same weekend.
Okay.
And I'm excited to see Dune 3. I can't wait to see Dune 3. I want to see that. Uh, but then, and I was excited to see Avengers Doomsday. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this looks like a bunch of cobbed together bullshit.
That's not good.
It's
The
not.
Odyssey looks great. I'm going next Thursday to see it.
I'm going Friday.
You going Friday?
Yeah, so we can talk about it next week. I can spoil it for you next week.
That's terrible. I was watching. I can't remember the name of the show, but I wanted to say the show I was watching with my aunt this week, which was nice. Lock. What is it called? I'm trying to figure it out because it was Lock Rise to Candleford. I think you'd like it.
It's a British show?
It's a British show. It's from
It's a mystery?
2008.
Is it verbose?
It is verbose. It's about like a Canadian. It's about one rich town and one poor town, and they're right next to each other. It's nice.
Listen, I'll check it out.
Episode I saw a kid died.
Set aside. I'm going to set aside some time next week's podcast. We're going to do a deep dive in Lock and whatever the rest of it
Lock
is.
Rise to Candleford.
Lock Rise to Candleford. I'm sure you're butchering that, but we'll check it out. All right. That's going to do it for this week. We are live stream every Wednesday right here on Buzzer. Afterwards, get us. We're also on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We're on X. We're twitching right now, Vinny. So check us out any of those places, and as a podcast where you get your podcasts. Thank you for listening. Shout out to our benefactor, Mr. Chris Dunn, who always goes way out of his way to help if I was a betting man.
Thank you, Chris.
On Buzzer. And we will see you next week on If I Was a Betting Man. Oh, we're still live.
Uh-oh.